right? And I was like, I don't really want that out there, and you took it away right away. And I know that must have taken you time to type out and the whole thing and transpose, and you took it away like that. And I was just surprised you did that, and I was like, thank you. And so it was because of God. So if it wasn't for God, you would have just left it in there.
Not necessarily, but that's a powerful. Like sometimes I feel like I'm becoming a bit of a bully, or like okay, if someone lets me bully them, like let's say someone really wants to be close to me, and I start to have contempt for the person, I'll bully them to the extent that I get away with it. That's just that's my tendency, and so it's hard for me to stop that. Like I had a girlfriend who I would just start yelling at her when she was driving and she did something stupid, and because
girls don't like that.
Because I could.
Girls do not like that.
She's the only girlfriend I've had where I've really done that, but we just developed in such a situation where she kind of let me bully her, and I kind of bullied her a bit at times. It's not an attractive part of myself, but so fear of God kind of that can help stop me when I'm in a situation where I recognize I'm bullying someone, recognize that I can get away with it, but it can help pull me back.
Right. I know that you're making some progress here because I've complained many times about this chat room with Chaim Amalek. Chaim Amalek is a bully, and you let him get away with it. And
he's not a bully.
He's a bully. He sits there in the chat room with people who I bring. This is a serious talk, right? And I bring people in, right? I bring followers and friends of me to watch. They go in the chat room. And this guy maligns me in some of the most vicious ways, attempts character assassination against me in front of my friends. I say to you, hey, stop him. Why are you letting him do that and ruin my good name in front of my friends? And you let him get away with it. You let him get away with it. And I know that Leslie's watching, and I know that she complained about it. I know that she complained, and she stopped going in the chat room because it was getting ridiculous that this guy was asking stupid-ass questions, and you only take his questions, and she's like a legitimate viewer, right? She's there to learn something, and she asks questions that get ignored.
So that reminds me to cut and paste the chat. So Chaim Amalek's my best friend. I think that the way he refers to you is the same way that my male friends rib me all the time. So I don't know why you didn't grow up where ribbing was just an accepted way that guys just talk to each other.
Because I grew up, that's not the Torah way. Let's just say that. That is not the Torah way. That's number one. That's like a goyish thing. Why would it say that to a Torah person? Torah, we don't act that way. That's number one. Number two is my friends in there don't understand that. They're not part of that. And by letting him get it, even if you don't think that he's bullying, by you forcing that on, even though I've said it so many times not to do it, you're in effect, you're bullying. You are now bullying. Because you're giving him free rein against my wishes to go ahead and do all that kind of activity. That is bullying.
I went and spoke to him. I said, cut out any personal attacks on Rabbs. So look, here, let me give you an example. So Rabbi Rabbs talks about going to a wedding on the East Coast, and his date was this non-Jewish woman. So Chaim Amalek writes in the chat room, Rabbi Rabbs went on a date with a shiksa. So for you, that's character assassination. For me, he's just repeating what you said, and it's totally harmless.
No, but that doesn't bother me as much as when he writes, Rabbs is ignorant. I mean, he's really ignorant.
But you call people ignorant all the time, so... you dish it out. You're always dishing out, the Reform, they're ignorant. I'm ignorant. All sorts of people are ignorant. You dish it out all the time on the Torah Talk that all these different people are ignorant. So one person comes into the chat room, a friend of mine, and says, Rabbi Rabbs is ignorant. What's the difference? I'm not saying I'm not arguing whether you're more accurate or he's more accurate. I'm just saying that it's
You want to know? You want to know the first difference? Mm-hmm. I'm not allowed to be in the chat room at the time. I can't be in there to have a chance to defend myself in front of...
He can't be here in the chat. He can't be here in the Torah Talk.
But because he's a coward. He doesn't use his real name. He has nothing to lose.
That's true.
Right? I can't call him out. He's in there anonymously trashing me and giving the impression to people who know me in there as like I'm ignorant, I don't know this, I don't even know what's going on until later. I'm not in there with a chance to defend myself.
He's not here with a chance to defend himself.
No, but he doesn't exist. He doesn't exist. I can't sit there and say that his real name is ignorant. He's Teflon. I cannot do combat. It's a fight. It's like an army fighting against a guerrilla. You don't even see where it's coming from. It's an uneven fight. I can't be in there. My friends, my followers are in there watching, only seeing this guy trash me. I have no way to defend myself and explain that he's wrong.
You do it all the time. Almost every
not
week
at the
you come
time.
in here and you say how he's wrong.
I come in the next week and I can say
next week.
and he's not even watching.
So
and the people from the chat,
nothing you
the
say.
damage is done because
What
the
damage
people,
do you think is
the
done 'cause
people
he
in the
says you're
chat
ignorant?
are not able at the time to get the other side of the story.
Why do you think they're swayed? Because you're telling me they think he's a jerk. So why would he sway them if they think he's a jerk?
Maybe he is. Maybe he is swaying them because I'm not in there to defend myself.
Surprised for being public.
All right, next thing.
Do you fear God, and if so, for what?
Obviously, I fear God.
Okay, for what?
What do you mean? Everything. I mean, everything.
Like, where does it lead you to constrain what you would otherwise do?
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? The only reason I'm alive is because I'm afraid exactly what was going to happen on the other side. That's number one. So let's start there. The fact that I haven't pulled the plug yet is because I'm afraid of what comes in the afterlife. I don't know how it's going to be. It's like, until you know. If nobody's laid out the facts in front of me. Right? The reason that I don't plug every shiksa that walks by down the street from me, right? It all goes together. The fact that I'm so fucking miserable in my life and I hate my life and all these things is only because of God. Everything is because of that. Okay, go ahead. Next thing.
Midwives apparently rewarded for their fear of God by establishing houses for them. It's not often that occurs. Like people who rescue Jews in the Holocaust, very frequently they were murdered. So this is a nice turn of events.
The
midwives were rewarded for their fear of God. By God, He established houses for them.
Right.
Well, it's not often that people get rewarded for doing the right thing.
By God?
Yeah, in this life. Have you been rewarded for all your mitzvahs in this life?
Yes, I got to meet you.
Punishment.
Okay.
So Moses Outscroll in Exodus chapter 1 verses 15 to 22 calls Moses the savior of the Jews. Boy, this Christian language. Did Moses save the Jews? I don't feel like Moses saved us. God saved us. We saved ourselves, inspired by God and by Moses to take control of our lives, to leave Egypt and to take the Torah and to live by it. This notion of salvation comes from above. We are but dust and ashes. I think this is more pagan than Jewish.
Wait a minute. Who said and called Moses the savior of the Jews?
The Outscroll.
But who are they quoting?
I don't know.
You took the line out of context. It was the Medrash says the astrologers. They were goyim. They were Paro's astrologers. Mm-hmm. And they came to Paro and they said that the saviors of the Jews is now dead. You have nothing to worry about. Right? Mm-hmm. They called him the savior of the Jews. What do you want? They're a bunch of goyim. That's how they think. No Jew said this about Moses. Nobody said that. God didn't say that. The Jews didn't say that. It's a bunch of goyim said that. Who cares? Next.
Moses is a reluctant hero. This is my favorite archetype in movies. Like, I love the Mel Gibson character in the movie The Patriot. I love the Russell Crowe character in the movie Gladiator. I love, like, reluctant hero. Like, people just want to live their lives quietly and, like, till their little plot of soil and be with their wives and kids. But then, reluctantly, against what they really want to do, they're called to some magnificent task. I just love the reluctant hero archetype.
Yeah, Moses, that he was the